To get a sense of the government's preparation to roll out the Indian vaccine project, I'm joined on the India Today Newstrack by the Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India, Professor K. Vijayraghavan. Professor Raghavan, welcome. I was at Pune looking at the facilities of Serum Institute and their preparations to roll out the vaccine project. I have multiple questions for you on the back of that. First and foremost, by when do you think the government will officially start rolling out vaccines? And how soon do you see this start happening? And how many people do you think you'll be able to touch in the first week to 10 days?
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here. As you have visited our vaccine manufacturers and you know the quality of the production and the volume of production, both these are very important. And what the regulator has before them are three candidate vaccines. One is the AstraZeneca Serum Institute vaccine. The other is the Bharat Biotech vaccine, which is in partnership with the Indian Council for Medical Research. And third is the Zydus Cadila vaccine. And typically, the regulator will look at three components. Is the vaccine safe? Does it have immunogenicity? Does it elicit an immune response? And thirdly, does it have efficacy? When confronted with the virus, does it prevent disease? Does it prevent severe disease or moderate disease, and to what extent? These are the three parameters which need to be evaluated. The drug controller is considering these candidates from this perspective. Everyone has said that they should be allowed to do their job well. The Prime Minister particularly has stressed that vaccines will roll out. They will roll out when scientists determine it's the correct time. So I think we should let the drug controller take a decision and wait for that.
So now we've seen the UK drug controller giving permission to the Oxford University AstraZeneca vaccine. By when do you see the vaccine getting clearance in India? In the meeting that happened today, no final decisions been taken. It's been decided that there will be another meeting on the 4th of January. Can you share some specifics on what data points are you waiting for? Are we very close to getting approval, or are we still some days away? Are we still some weeks away?
Well, as you have said, the drug controller had meetings, and it's up to the drug controller to decide when, the Central Drug Safety Organization is satisfied. They have expert committee meetings on that. They're very rigorous. And if, as you say, they've asked for more information, I'm sure that more information is warranted and will be forthcoming, and we can expect to hear a decision very soon. We must keep in mind what the UK government has done. The UK government has, by the way, accepted the recommendation from the Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency, that's equivalent to our drug controller, to authorize the Oxford University AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine for use beginning, that was done today, that is December 30th. Now, this followed a very long rolling review process, which began with initial discussions as early as May, and a rolling review data from clinical trials with submission from the phase 3 study, which looks at efficacy starting in September. So, from September to now looking at the phase 3, an analysis of experts concluded that the vaccine has met the standards of safety, quality, and effectiveness. Now, using this data and our bridging trial data, which is being conducted in India, our drug controller is examining this, and that decision will surely be taken very soon.
Now, the one question that came to my mind again and again is that the government has so far, according to Serum Institute, placed an order for only 20 million doses in the first round. They're already sitting on a stockpile of 50 million doses which can be given out right away. So I'm curious to know, as a customer, what happens to the remaining 30 million? If the production is more than the government's ability to consume and distribute, does that mean that the remaining capacity will be made available in private pharmacies to private consumers?
The point about the volume available with Serum Institute and with other manufacturers when they get regulatory approval is they have a manufacturing approval prior to licensure. Provided the licensure comes up, they can then use that manufactured capacity. But as licensure comes up, they will continue to manufacture rather substantially. And the big companies have incredible capacity. So as that capacity is rolled out, the government, of course, will be the major procurer. There will be also commitments. India, we must remember, is what is called a Gavi donor country. We give to the Global Vaccine Alliance, and we also get from the Global Vaccine Alliance vaccines at low cost. So as the Prime Minister has said, India is a major vaccine provider to the world. We will honor those commitments as well as honor the commitments to our population. So there will be lots of doses needed, but India is capable of manufacturing all that is needed.
No, so I'm not fully clear. Did you just say that the extra capacity beyond what the government can procure, beyond what is required to be given to the international Gavi coalition, will be then almost immediately made available for private consumption?
There would not be extra capacity early on during the rollout phase. During the rollout phase, we must remember that the government has committed to providing healthcare workers, frontline workers, and people above 50 as a priority group. That adds up to about 30 crores, about 300 million. Now, so that rollout plan will take care of a lot of the supplies and our commitments to provide Gavi. So after the first quarter is when you're going to start seeing capacity becoming substantially available, and there'll be a lot more flexibility. You will also see other vaccines coming in, and so you'll see a lot more flexibility there.
We're already seeing some tourism take place. Indians flying off to Dubai to get the Pfizer vaccine, or at least such promises are being made, and there are people who are choosing to go for those promises. How do you ensure that there is no black marketing in the initial period? There will be huge demand, limited capacity. That capacity is supposed to be reserved for those who need it the most, those who are old, aged, health workers on the front line. But there'll be the money bags who want that vaccine at any cost. What are your government's plans, Professor Raghavan, to ensure that black marketing is curtailed and contained?
Well, people who unfortunately take a flight to get a vaccine is a category I'd rather not discuss. Now, within India, the government has put in place an extraordinary system. It's called COVIN. It's a vaccine distribution, procurement and distribution system. Every single batch of vaccine produced is labeled. The stockpiling is labeled. The distribution is labeled. Those who get it are labeled, and then it's fed back. Now, within this system, which is meant to reach the priority groups, as I said, it will be available between there. Now, if there are people who want to try and crack this and spend their time trying to get a vaccine out of line, it's extremely depressing. It's not the right thing to do, but the system is actually very robust to prevent that at any significant scale.
Well, we wish you all the best, and we hope that in the new years you have millions of vaccines being rolled out in an efficient, targeted fashion. Professor Vijayraghavan, thank you so much for joining us. Principal Scientific Advisor to the Government of India, joining us on the Newstrack. That's all we have time for. I'll have more for you on the other side. Thank you very much for tuning into the Newstrack. Goodbye. Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kanwal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.